Hello and welcome to Mr. Randy's Wine and Spirits. I am Mr. Randy, and today we're going to be doing a full review of the Copper Dog Speyside Blended Malt Scotch Whiskey. If you're new to the channel, hello and welcome. Come on in. It's welcome and warm here. To all my returning viewers, always good to see you. You know how we do, so come on in and let's have a drink, shall we? So, the full review is the second part of a three-part series that I do with the libations, all in general. Part one is called Off the Rip. I bring it home, I crack it open, I have the first pour and share my first impressions with you because you watching a video. Second part is where we're at today. I get the bottle about halfway, give it enough space and time, a couple of weeks, let it see if the characters change, let it open up, for the better, for the worse. It is what it is. I gather up as much information as I possibly can that I can tolerate the numbness of running around the interwebs, and I bring it all here to you, and I present it to you in a timely manner, trying to make it around no more than 10 minutes. Then we get down to part three, which is called the final pour, or two. I am getting a lot better at gauging when to stop drinking it. Sometimes you know it's hard. You know it's hard. If you got a good one, it's hard. And you've seen that in a few of my videos. I've barely had a pour. Sometimes, you know, I had more than one, so the final pour, like I said, we're going to judge that last bit, compare it to halfway mark, and the first pour. It is what it is. Discussions will commence. So, this is the Copper Dog. Now, I've been working on the pronunciation, which is Craig L-A-C-E. This is a Diageo product. There it is. It is a Speyside. It's 40% alcohol by volume. Okay. Now there's the little device that they use, a Copper Dog. This is a little thing, a little sneaky little dirt turds that working at a distillery, they would have this chained around their legs, around their hip or something, and they had this chain, and it'd be like a little tube that they would just kind of like shuffle out and like sort of drop down into the vats or the casks or whatever they were working in. And they dipped them out themselves a little bit. I wonder how much those actually were, how much volume. I seen one, and I think it wasn't an actual one, it was like a replication. But there you go, you see it's imported by Diageo. So we're going to go ahead and get a pour on while we continue talking about this information. Not too much. So, it's got a nice, hefty, thick little cork, natural cork. May or may not like those are synthetic. So, what is in the Copper Dog Speyside Blended Whiskey? It is single malts. It is no less than 8 single malts. Now, they are married in what they consider old oak casks. I don't know what the old might mean. Used, not used. Maybe they just sat around for a while. They made them and never used them. Old. How old is it? I don't know. Not a whole lot of clarification on that. So it is married in oak casks for 3 months. At least 3 months. There is no age statement, but it's a Scotch whiskey, which means that they have to be at least 3 years, correct? So, I mean, you got at least 3 years, so it's a standard at least. Mr. Randy paid just under $43 out the door for this bottle. So that is about it on the information. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at it. It does have a very beautiful color, but don't just take my word for it. We're going to break out Mr. Randy's handy dandy whiskey color scale, and off camera I'm going to put it at, say, a pale brown or a medium brown. I think it probably keys more to the medium brown. We'll call it medium brown and move on. On the nose, it's much, there's a whole lot of beauty in that nose. Very reminiscent of the Glenmorangie. If you haven't had a Glenmorangie, it's a beautiful nose. It's got citrus and spices, not too much, good sweetness. Not particularly my jam when it comes to the characteristics of the Scotch, but it's good enough. I mean, I don't want to say it's good enough. I won't put it down if it's anybody's favorite. It is a good Scotch. It's a good whiskey. The nose, definitely, there's sweet, honey, a little bit of spice, some citrus, a few other things running around in the background that kind of get clouded up. Going deep, it's got a really twisted sweetness with the ethanol. I know that might not make a whole lot of sense. Let's go ahead and get it on the palate. See, here's where the nose, very reminiscent of the Glenmorangie. The palate is completely otherwise. There's more oaky spiciness, and that is from the oak, which makes it kind of weird. Like, what kind of oak are we talking? It says old. That's the best clarification I could find, was it was old. Didn't say it was pre-filled, used, first filled, doesn't bourbon. Are they reusing the barrels? Is that what we're saying because they're old? No clarification. But on the palate, there's that, like, that bitterness that you get from that old barrels. It's really kind of strange because much different the palate is from the nose. It's just like an oakiness. You get like this like old tinge of oak and smoke and some kind of rancid almost. Well, let's get it on the finish and see what that works. Viscosity is relatively light. Not anywhere closer to the side of watery, but there's just I stripped that glass prior to this video. Can't really see much in the bottle, but there's not a whole lot of viscosity. Most of the finish is on the sides, the cheeks, jowls. I'm starting to get a little bit in the gums. A little bit of heat is starting to build up on the very back end. There's not a whole lot of action going on here. There's not a whole lot of flavor characters coming at me. It was just basically effects. I got the tingliness, the cheeks, the gums. Now the warmth is, I'd say probably the warmth is probably a 2 out of 5 sitting on back there. The tingliness is probably like a 3 out of 5. Flavor characters, I don't know where they're at. I don't know what happened. There were some off the rip, not a whole lot, mind you, but there was more then than there is now. It's unfortunate. The finish, if all you're really looking for is effect, you're just looking to feel that finish instead of tasting it and having anything other than that nummy sort of, I just took a huge amount of cough syrup or something and now my mouth and my throat is a little numb. If that's what you're looking for, then I guess this is it. It's very unfortunate. Maybe the final pour will have to come back around and maybe there'll be something more. So stay tuned. Tune in. Hit the subscribe button if you're interested in finding more out about the end of these bottles with the final pours and whatnot. Hit the subscribe button. And if you like my content, why don't you hit the like button if you like the video. So my score is going to be, I'm going to have to probably peg it at a weak 3 out of 5. Here's the problem. It's a $40-something. It's probably mostly going to be $45 for most people in this area. For a 40%, it is a blended. It is only single malts, but it's more than 8. And a lot of this stuff is good, but then there's a lot of bad. $40-something for a 40%. That's a meh, especially on the finish. It's a meh, a weak 3 out of 5, and I'm being kind of generous on that. Maybe it'll change. Maybe it'll change on the final pour. I'll bring it all back here, and you see me back here, and we'll let you know. So my fair price on this, I'd probably have to pay it less than 30. because, I mean, I don't know what to say. Would I buy this again? Most likely not. Most likely not. I'd say this is probably something that you would want to mix probably better. I might even try that. I'll try doing a little bit of mixing and bring that information back to you during the episode of the final pour. So there it is. Let us know what you think in the comments. And as always, thanks for stopping by here at Mr. Randy's Wine and Spirits. Sorry. You have a good one.